Hi, everyone. Welcome to 30 Minutes with Spyglass Lending. Joining me today, a very special guest. I can't tell her how much I appreciate her being here. This is exciting. Shelton Wilder, CEO of the Shelton Wilder Group at Sotheby's International Realty. She is pretty incredible. She's got a story to tell about how she built her business, and we're going to hear what her thoughts are moving forward for her own business and the world of real estate, because obviously what's going on out there is pretty interesting. Inflation has pushed these prices up across the board. California is insane with real estate prices. And on my neck of the woods, on my side of the fence, obviously, interest rates have spiked pretty, pretty heavily in the last 4 to 6 weeks. So kind of a perfect storm happening all at once. Shelton, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here. Please say hello.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Aaron. Thanks for asking me.
Absolutely. Let's start with this. I'm gonna start with this right off the bat. Los Angeles born and bred, or are you a transplant from somewhere else?
Oh, no. Not with this accent. I am from Charlotte, North Carolina. Well, actually, a little town outside of Charlotte called Gastonia. And so I came here a little over 15 years ago. And I moved here to start my own business. It was a luxury lifestyle management company where I shopped and styled and planned parties and did all these fun things. So that's what I moved out here to do. Started a clothing line, and I was featured on Shark Tank with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then I got into real estate. I had my license only about like 6.5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Why the pivot, by the way? What made the jump? What made you jump?
Well, the pivot was kind of had a big aha moment with my husband, Clark, and he was just like, well, we're done with shimmy. You're finished. No more slips. I was like, okay. So, let's, owning a business like where you're manufacturing things, it's kind of like you pay to work in the beginning. And so that's what I kept on doing. And, it was a great business. It's an amazing product. I still wear it every day. Basically, Kim Kardashian has the brand now. It's called Skims. So it's like the same thing. But anyway, I just kind of stopped that. I had my one child, and then I decided, okay, what is the big moment for me? What do I want to do? And I was like praying and journaling and writing, and I had loved being in fashion, and I was a fashion stylist, and I ran a store, and I was like, what did I love the most about doing that? And it was like being with people. And owning a clothing line is very lonely, actually. You're like shipping boxes. I mean, it's not that real estate's always glamorous, but at least you get to talk to people. And I like having a lot of people around. So I just came up with the click, and it was real estate. And then I just kind of went full on in. So my mentor.
Okay, now that's interesting. So really, you're a people person. You were saying,
Yes.
what am I doing behind the scenes here? What is the best
Yeah.
industry I could go out there and make my
Mhm.
name, make a way for myself? And real estate was where it's at. And obviously in California, I mean, it just Los Angeles especially just really lends itself for that, right? Just to be able to
Yes.
go out there and become that person. And like you said, you've only been doing it a little over 6 years, but already
Yeah.
you've built such an impressive business for yourself. And were you always with Sotheby's, or were you with another brokerage
Oh
to
my
start?
God. No. This is my sixth brokerage in
Oh
6 years.
my!
So
Take us through it. Can you quickly name off where you started and how you landed in it?
yes,
Yeah.
it's very crazy. So I'll say one more other thing though. So what I think is really different about what I built here is that I came into this whole real estate thing and knew that it was a company, that I was going to be CEO of a company. I'm not going to sell something and be like, well, guys, we're going to take a vacation. No, it was like everything you make, you put it back in. And I had so many businesses before. I was a serial entrepreneur. And so I knew that you have to invest back in and hire people and, do other things. So I think that's like a big difference in the way
Yeah.
that I saw it. And also I knew like, oh, this is great. I knew you had to create a brand. So I knew for the other things you had to have a brand, and you have to have a logo, and you have to have an Instagram, and you have to have a website. And like I did all of those things before I'd even made a sale. So a lot of it was,
So you
you
built the
put it
infrastructure even before cashing that first commission check. You're like, bang! I want the website. I want the
out.
name. I want the brand. I want the logo. Built the team.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. And it was like professional photo shoots, post professional pictures, put it out there. Say it every day. Say you do this every day. Because I had to really
Yep.
shift because I didn't want people to think, gosh, this girl's so ADD. Now she's a stylist. Now she as a clothing line. Now she's doing that. Oh, what is she doing now? And it was like, no,
Right.
I moved. I'm not styling. I stopped talking about that at all. I really didn't even start talking about fashion, even though I'm like a fashionista, until even recently, because I didn't want people to be confused. But I will say one other thing too, is that I feel like I have been preparing for this career for my whole life because I was in sales my whole
Mm.
life. The day I turned 16, I got a job at Benetton, top sales within the first 3 months of the whole Southeast. Like I'd always been doing that. And so I was styling people and I was seeing people naked in their homes. And then
At
this
16.
is like seeing people's finances. I mean, it doesn't get more intimate, naked
Yeah.
and finances. So it's the
It's
same
just a
thing.
different form of nudity, but yeah, I mean,
I
that's
mean,
right.
it's like
You
so
get to peek behind the curtain.
Totally. So I feel like that was a huge advantage that I had. And then like my mentor just says that I'm balls out. I mean, I just go like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And my husband was like, oh my gosh,
But
what
that
do you
works in real estate, right? I mean, clientele especially love that. That's who they want working for them. That's who's out there
ha-
getting it done, right?
have to do it and have to tell what you're doing and be very focused and be one thing. One thing, not like the ADD. I in other businesses, I had kind of been like, oh, I do everything. It's like, no, I do one thing.
Yeah.
So I think that helped. But okay,
Yeah.
so brokerages. I started at Monarch. It was a boutique, smaller one in Malibu, and they were
Yep.
great. And Laura, I still work with, and she's amazing. She helps coach now. And then I moved from her to Berkshire Hathaway because I needed to come back to the West Side because my children were
Right.
in preschool, everything. So we were Berkshire Hathaway in Brentwood, then went to Telus
Hmm.
in Brentwood, and then Telus became Douglas Elliman. So that wasn't my fault. So one of them wasn't
Right.
me.
That's not on you. That's on them.
Yeah. Then I was recruited from Compass to go leave Douglas Elliman to go to Compass.
Yeah.
And
And Compass has,
then
and let's, if we don't mind, maybe we should pause there and just give a quick overview of Compass. I mean, like, who are they? How'd they become such a behemoth? And how'd they convince someone like yourself even to join them?
oh well, I had an amazing splint and I was 3 years in. So I was like,
There you go.
yes, yeah, let's try that. Like I was like, oh cool. And it worked really well and they were great. And I don't have negative things to say about anybody ever. And
Yep.
so, but it was just like a little over 2 years. Then I was, approached by Sotheby's. And so then I moved on to Sotheby's. It has an incredible international presence and
Yeah.
such an amazing brand, very classic, timeless, kind of how I like to see my branding as well, where I'm going to stay to the end of time. Like hopefully, my plan is to do this till I'm 100. I am also Capricorn like Betty White. I want to stay in this forever. Like I'll be like with my walker, like, what are we gonna see today, guys? Like that's me.
If you
Do
love it, you
not,
love it.
yeah,
And
I
and
love
then,
it.
and then probably another moniker that they would appreciate hearing. Sotheby's is synonymous with luxury, right? I mean,
Yes,
it's luxurious, and I mean, is that really what you're after, right? You want to be known as a luxury real estate agent. Is that fair to say?
yes.
Yeah.
Luxury, top agent, yes. And so,
Top
and
agent. Let's hit on that for a second. You were the top. You're in the top 1.5% in the country.
yes. Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's really great. And we're the top team in Brentwood Sotheby's, and we hit 100 million last year. In my 5th year of real estate, we did 100 million in sales.
That's
So,
incredible. Was that the goal, or did you even have a bigger goal, or do you
oh,
have bigger goals than that
that
number? I
was
gotta assume yes.
That
Yeah.
was the goal, and
Yeah.
we hit it.
You
And
did
I
it.
was psycho. I put the amount of money for the gross sales that I would make, for the gross commissions, and we hit the goal. So I really believe in that manifesting and writing it down. I have my little book. It's called The Boss. Write it in there. I write my little pads. I stick it up there. I look at it exactly what I want to do and all of the goals. And then this year the goal is 200 million or more. So
Yeah. I love it. And I mean, how you feel about that number? You're gonna hit that?
yeah, I feel really good. So we've already closed over 20
Amazing.
and we have another 17 in escrow. So we're above our mark right now.
That's awesome. And let's talk about the
Yeah.
West Side for a second, because people I think want to know. synonymous with what does the west side of Los Angeles mean, right? I mean, there's some big pockets, right? Brentwood, Santa Monica, Pacific Palisades,
Yeah.
Venice Beach. You list all of these obviously on your website. Where do you
Mhm.
focus on mostly? I mean, your home base is Brentwood. Is that where you do
Yeah.
most of the business, or are the other pockets?
Well, really kind of all around. A lot of Mar Vista, actually. That's kind of the hottest neighborhood happening on the west side.
How
It's
did it
been
become the hottest neighborhood? Can we get into that a little bit?
okay. I will tell you what I think, how it became the hottest neighborhood. So, was when they announced in 2017 that they were going to close the Santa Monica airport in 2028. That's when things bumped up. It was a crazy, there was nothing over 2 million in sales. And then
Right.
everything started climbing, climbing, climbing. So that's what I believe. And now their sales all the time over 5 million, which is, I mean, and it's just such a central location. It's close to get to, you're right in Venice, you're close to the beach, then you're close to the airport. You can go to Beverly Hills. I mean, it's very central. So,
Yeah.
and then
Yep.
my other obviously, favorite neighborhood is Brentwood, where I live, where we work, right here, the Sotheby's office. And I just, I love it. And I think it's super central. And I lived in Sunset Park before and loved it. And it was close to the beach, but it would just, you were kind of there and it was harder to get, I travel to Beverly Hills or West Hollywood to have showings. And it was kind of harder to get out of your little bubble there. Brentwood is super central. So love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. And besides the fact that it's gorgeous over there, and
Yeah.
it's nice and a nice place to live. Uh,
Yeah.
your team, how did you find everyone, and why? Why did you put that specific team together? And do you intend to grow it even more?
Oh, yeah. So I love talking about this. So I am the oldest. Well, actually, my stepbrother's like 9 months older, but I always consider myself the oldest because I'm the boss of my 5 siblings.
Okay.
And, being from North Carolina, and I love having a lot of people around. I said that before. I love a team, a big group. And from the beginning, from day one, I knew I wanted a team because I had other businesses where I had a lot of people working with me. I love that. I like the energy. I like the people. I feel like I'm really great at being able to get the right personalities and all come together. And so my second year, I started a team. Like I didn't even have an assistant. I was like, hey, let's be a team, And so that's how it kind of started.
Where
And
where did you find the first part of your team?
okay, so she was also at Douglas Elliman, and
Okay.
she had left someone that she was working with, and that, you know, then she was like kind of open, and she kind of approached me, and I said, "Oh, I'm kind of starting a team." So when we got along, and it was really great, and that's kind of how I started. And then I got another person on my team, and I kind of found her at like a women's networking thing. I said, "Oh my God, come on, you're so cute," and so it's just kind of happened that way. And I haven't really ever recruited anyone. Everyone's just kind of come to me and been like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Because I'm very out there on social. I am very positive. Positron's my thing. I said it on Shark Tank. I'll say it for the rest of my life. I made up that word when I was 21 working at Capitol in Charlotte. And I'm like, positron. And I just kind of, I just put the energy out that way. And that's how people have found me so far. And huge news is I just hired a COO, Forrest. I'm so excited. So I'm
Congratulations to
really,
you.
thank you. It's a very big deal, and he's incredible. And so we're able to kind of get the infrastructure in. It's even more of a business to keep that growing and moving up. So then I can be able to take the business to the next level to be able to recruit in, because it was getting, so I have 5 people on my team,
Yep.
and then I have social media, I have full-time assistant, I have Forrest, I have, it's a big group of us. And even I hired a PR slash, she's like kind of helping us develop a show.
Yep.
So that's been very exciting too.
Oh
So I
wow. Oh
have,
wait. Well, we're gonna have to talk about that for a
oh yeah,
second.
we'll talk about that. So yeah, so that's kind of how that's where I've wanted to build. And so that's where I feel like I'm a little bit different than possibly other teams or other people in real estate. That, like I said from the beginning, everything we make, we just funnel it back in the business. It's not like
Right.
vacation time. It's like, okay,
Right.
how can we keep growing so that now that Force is in place, then we are able to bring on new team members and offer a lot more to them because they're not always just coming to me. They can come to him.
How big do
So
you want this team to get?
I want to have 10 by the end of the year.
10 agents. So right
10,
now you're at 5 agents and you want 10 by the end of the year. Okay,
10
so
by the end
double
of
in
the year.
size by the end of the year, double the volume, double the size in the team right off the bat. Okay. And
Yes.
this
And we're
show
not,
you're talking about, what tell us about this show that you're doing, that you're launching.
well, we're working on the show being different than maybe possibly what's out there a little bit. Nothing, I mean, they're all great shows that are happening, but kind of showing a more of like the team dynamic versus maybe agents fighting with each other, like upset with each other.
Right. The
That's not the
drama,
drama.
get rid
No.
of the show the
Well,
love, get rid of the drama kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, well, because there's so much drama in real estate that
Yeah.
happens already. The emotions and it's not, it doesn't have to be created because it's already there. The emotions of, I mean, look at the bidding wars happening right now. Look at people so stressed not being able to find a home, get in a home, listing a home, the property prep, all of the things that go into the behind the scenes of getting a house ready, what it takes, how we do the buyer tours and talk about how you're purchasing a home and all the off market, all those other kind of things.
Right.
So it doesn't, there, because we don't have any fighting within the team. It's not
Right.
allowed.
That's already happened. There's enough of that going on outside of the team that,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so
And
you
I'm
are good
very,
on the same page.
and I'm very different too. I mean, I like to be like the Dolly Parton of real estate, Miss Congeniality, want to get along with everyone. I send presents to all the agents. We send like a, gift card when we open escrow. Oh, coffees for closers. I mean, we really want to make everybody feel so good and so happy because each transaction can be more of a love fest. It doesn't have to be this fighting.
Mhm.
I don't know where that came from. I just bring kind of my Southern charm. I call it Southern California charm. We've kind of like slipped it in where it doesn't have to be a fight. I mean, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're trying to get the same thing accomplished. So I just have a different way of looking at it, I guess.
Who's handling
So,
the production? Are you self-producing this, or are you trying to sell the show, or have you already sold the show?
oh no. So I had a show come up before on HGTV,
Right.
and then it was like didn't make it all the way through. And so Carrie Ann's working with me and the whole team on it. And so it's more to come. I'll let you know when we tell you.
We'll
But
stop right
yeah.
there, and we're gonna circle back to something else you said. We're gonna change tack here for a second. Networking, that you had found somebody on your team from a women's networking group. Now, how often are you out there networking, and how challenging was it during the last 2 years of essentially lockdown? I mean, we're all coming out of our shell yet again. Thankfully, Omicron is passing, and hopefully we're all out there having a great time
Oh yeah.
soon enough and shaking hands and doing what we got to do with the Dog and Pony Show. But how often were you networking, and even through COVID, how were you networking?
Okay, so I'll let you know that. First thing is about 6 months ago, I started my own agent networking group. So it's like a private group that I started that I have once a month, and it's been incredible. So many transactions have gotten started from there, agents getting to know each other. I have a full spread of food at this like great restaurant, and it's just been super fun. I love giving back that way. That's very like my Southern hospitality kind of thing, and keeping that agents as friends kind of, because we're colleagues. We need to work together.
Yeah.
Clients are super important, obviously, but the agents are where you can find off markets and get deals done together, and you have to get along. And I want to stay in this for, like I said, and 50 more years. So, or even longer than that, because I'm 43. So, I mean, I want to be doing this for 60 years. So
Yeah.
it's we have to get along and work together. So that networking has been incredible. And I just like brought it back before. I just said, we're doing this, and it's outside and it's great at a restaurant. And then a lot of things that were done during COVID were you would do a lot of buyer representation and buyer meetings where you'd go over the contract and meet each other on Zoom. Zoom was huge. And Zoom is still here to stay. Like we meet in person with my team a lot, but we also can get together on Zoom meetings if it's something quick we just need to go through. So that was an incredible part. And then I even during COVID started my own course. So the Wilder side of real estate. So that's kind of, or what, there's Wilder side of real estate and Wilder ways of real estate. And so I had about 45 students that kind of came in and did that course. So that was how I was able to kind of keep in touch with more people, or even around the country. So I was very active doing that. I am so excited that I love face to face. I mean, look at us now. Like,
Yeah,
we
here
don't
we
have
are.
we're right here. We're on this
Yeah.
awesome streaming that you found, that is so cool, that puts it out everywhere. Genius. And so, yeah, obviously I'm very interested in meeting up with people face to face, but there's so many ways to do things now.
Let's talk about those courses, those 2 courses that you did. So were these evergreen that you essentially put together? They lived online and people can come on there, and then you would
Yes.
show up for Q&A, or were you doing live courses? Which of those? Or maybe
So
both?
it was a evergreen course that is still up,
Yeah.
and I'll be able to give you all the links that you can post about it. And so we're kind of in the process of kind of revamping the evergreen course to kind of bring things maybe even more up to speed
Sure.
from where they were. But yeah, it was great because I had I have a professional videographer, I have a team, I have everybody comes, and we put the whole thing together, and we were able to put the course out. And then once a week, when you joined the course, we did it 2 different times, and I would have weekly calls. So I was kind of like the coach. We had a weekly calls, and it was really fun, and people seemed to get a lot out of it. So it was exciting.
And you mentioned across the country, so 40, 45 people showing up. I mean, not just here in California or even Los Angeles, they were everywhere, yeah?
All around. And then
How
people
cool is that?
stayed friends and met each other and gave tips and talked about what was working, where they were. Like, some were in Charlotte and some in Oregon. I mean, it was all over. So it was really kind of fun to share that. And I'd love to kind of keep doing that as well, because I think it's fun to give back. And also, when you start as an agent, it's so terrifying. You're like, what is happening? I have no clue what I'm doing. You're like, yeah, there's memes all the time. Like, the broke agent talks, it's like, yeah, I have my license. What do I do? Like, your head explodes. Cause it's like, now because basically being an agent, you have like 100 hats that you wear. You're a marketer. That's that I went to Georgia, University of Georgia, and I graduated with business marketing, summa cum laude business marketing. And that was where I have that background. So I don't know. I just always think of marketing, but it's like running a marketing agency. It's kind of what the team is as well, because you have to get it's constant. There's so many hats you have to wear.
Never ending. I mean, let's talk about that, because your marketing is fantastic. I mean, that is such a big part of who you are, your persona, the group you've created. I mean, your website is phenomenal. It's one of the best I've ever seen. Really, I'm not going to say that for any agent, for anybody in our business. Certainly, I mean, you have a social media presence, a following. You're constantly putting out content, and let's talk about that a little bit. I mean, what does it take to really do that? Like you said, you have a PR individual and somebody running your social media now, and all this infrastructure in there. I mean, I think you have somewhere around 40,000 Instagram followers. A massive number, obviously. I don't know what you intend to grow that to, but let's talk a little bit about what you have to go through daily and weekly just to make that happen.
I mean, that's like a full-time job. I mean, Natalie's helping me. She's here now. I mean, it's constant. Forrest is coming up with ideas. Chrissy's ideas. We're always, running around. Now we're trying to grow TikTok. That's like a whole another animal. And I'm trying to do it without.
You put your hands on your head like are you enjoying this? I want to ask, are you enjoying doing TikTok videos?
I mean, she hasn't made me dance yet. I hope I don't have to dance, because I think like my whole page would just shut down. They'd be like, you're off, you're too old, but like I really don't want to have to do that. But I think, I mean, the one thing that is that I like people to know this about me, but it's kind of this strange thing that I did stand up for like a time. I did improv, not ever because I wanted to be an actress or anything. Like, I never.
By the way, here in Los Angeles, you were getting on stage here in LA. In North Carolina as well, or back in Georgia? Not at all. Okay, they don't know you. That world's different. They don't know Shelton Wilder down in Georgia, the stand-up comedian. Okay.
No. And so I was just like, I just did it to see if I could do it. Sometimes I just want to like challenge myself. Like, I'm sober. There's no drinking. I'm like, I got it. What's next? Like, let me try to see what I can kind of stress myself out with. And so like push yourself. And so I did that. And so I want people sometimes to see like more of a fun side of me. So I'm, we have like funny skits sometimes. And I think those are good. And we're starting a new little series called Shelton Says. It's going to be like short little tips about real estate. Like, for example, right now, let me just give all of your watchers a little tip right now. So in this market, sellers are like, where is my crown here? Okay, I have like a crown in here. They are the king and queens. They are in charge. So when you go to an open house and the listing agent there, they are in charge. Yes, hi, how are you? Lovely, be so nice. Do not say one negative thing about the house ever. Don't talk about it. Don't ask questions. Just tell them you love it. Don't talk about the house when you're outside because there's cameras watching everywhere now with the Ring cameras.
Right.
Lovingly wave goodbye. Call your agent in the car. Like, get out of there. Don't say one bad thing. I mean, it's just like kind of some common knowledge that I just try to like teach people. And I even have this whole buyer's guide and seller's guide with all these videos and everything that totally talks about the whole process of buying and selling within these like little videos that we send over. I try to be so proactive and helpful to my clients so they have the scoop on what to do. So I'm starting like that little series, which I think should be fun on TikTok, but we'll see how it goes.
Education, right? I mean, location used to be the mantra in real estate. Now it's education, right? Put out the content, educate all the time, whether it's other agents, whether it's the buyers and sellers, your clients, whoever it may be. And you seem to have picked up on this tremendously, and all the credit in the world to you. And it's working. I got to assume business is coming your way because of it, right? I mean, you hit that 100 million or will hit that 200 million this year. And a big part of that has to be this content you're putting out.
It's the content, and I mean, over 95% of my business is referrals. So I don't do these like this big push out like with the mailers and like door knocking and other people, which I'd love to, to expand into that with like other agents. But my business has been referrals from people I've worked with. And I have this is another tip I'll tell you about what I do. And this is part of my Southern who I am. Like, I can't show up anywhere without a present. Like, I have presents every time I meet a buyer, see a seller. Oh, it's presents, send presents. I literally have an entire assistant, Katie. She's a gifting assistant. Her entire job is gifts. And we send gifts. We do home anniversaries every single year. So if you bought a house from me, my first house will be sending it out that I ever sold when I was giving birth to my second son, Lane, and we were closing escrow, and I brought my 8-day-old baby, my 2-year-old, my nanny, and my husband to the final walkthrough. So she is about to get her 6th home anniversary present this next week. So
Brilliant.
we stay up with that, and then also giving the gifts for holidays. And then I throw this insane, we did it last year for the first time, this insanely huge, it was called the Wilder Winter Wonderland. We brought in snow, and we had sledding. Yes, you saw that
all over social media. It was so cool. It was amazing. Tell us more. Get into it.
It was very fun. It was literally a festival. I felt like I was like Kim Kardashian, and then I was like, oh, Bo, maybe it'll be your birthday party too. Like my 8-year-old, I was like, oh, we'll throw that in, but don't ever think this is really for you, because I would never do this. Just anyway. But over 300 people came. It was so fun. And for some people, that was the first time they ever saw snow for their child, their baby. It was like so fun. And it was, so awesome. I like love giving back. I love doing fun things. Nobody had to pay $1, do anything. They just had to show up, and we had fun things for them to do, and just a fun experience. My favorite quote, and I hope I won't botch it, but it was Betty White's, and it said, my job is getting along with people so that I can have fun. It's just that simple. So that's with other agents. That's with my clients. That's with my team. I really I just love to have fun and enjoy. And so I just love I'm very extra, and I love being very extra, and just, my closing gifts are so over the top, all of the things, because it's important. It's like, you need to show gratitude and respect for someone. There's so many agents out there.
Yeah.
People can pick so many different agents. So you want to show that, your gratitude to them. So,
That's
oh, and then
amazing.
if you refer, all those different things. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
fun.
and it shines through, and it's coming through today. Well, I mean, we have hit our 30-minute mark. I could sit here and
Oh my
talk to you
gosh.
for hours more. That's how fast it goes, right? And I appreciate it. And I got a million more questions, but our time is up.
Oh yeah.
Shelton Wilder, the self-described Dolly Parton of real estate. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us today. This was awesome. This was a lot of fun. Truly appreciate it. Love to have you back again. But good luck hitting that 200 million mark this
Yes.
year. I don't think you need that luck at all. Something tells me you're going to surpass that number. So it was awesome. Thank you so
Yay.
much for coming on today. Really appreciate your
I
time.
can't wait to come back. Thanks for having me.
All right, Sheldon. Take care.